What's going on, guys? It's Sam Doubtful here, back again with another YouTube video. In today's YouTube video, I'm going to be talking about tips for getting better at tanks. Now, tanks or vanguards in this game, in all hero shooters, they have the most health. They usually are slow moving. They take a lot of space. They are basically the bullet sponges of the team. Now, in my opinion, they can determine whether you win or lose a match, especially in this game. You can have a bad DPS and you can still win. Now, I would say having great healers is more important, but having a good tank is a close second. You need a shield to block damage in this game because of no self-healing for most heroes. There are very few health packs around the map too, and they're also kind of hard to get to for other DPS that don't have great movement, as well as tanks and, healers that don't have great movement to get to these health packs. So you absolutely need a tank. Now, I see a lot of sort of compositions in lower ranks, especially where you have one tank, 3 DPS, 2 healers, and that's fine. Statistically, as you guys may not have known, statistically, 1 tank, 3 DPS, and 2 healers is the best comp for every rank below diamond. It has the highest win percentage out of all of the compositions. That includes triple support, 2, 2, and 2, and any other sort of composition under the sun. Statistically, that is the best, most winningest with the highest win percentage comp for every single rank, diamond and below. So if you guys want to run that, by all means you can. I wouldn't get so angry at having 3 DPS on your team. Now, if there's 1 DPS that's doing bad, by all means, like as I've said in previous videos, try and see if one of them can switch to a second tank. But yeah, I mean, you absolutely just need one. If you're only gonna run one, you need a main tank. Now, main tanks are either Doctor Strange or Magneto or Groot. They can be main tanks. What main tanks are, they have shields or walls for Groot, for example, and they can block incoming damage. That's what you need. You can't run a Thor or a Venom, or Captain America can sometimes be good with his shield, but it's not fantastic. His shield gets depleted instantly, and he's more of a dive tank, in my opinion. Doctor Strange or Magneto are 2 of the best main tanks, or basically the only main tanks that you should be running. Groot is really good as well. There is a little bit of a learning curve with his walls, so you don't want to, wall your dive tank or your dive DPS or dive tanks from your healers. You don't want to like throw up walls to block your teammates, and it's also just hard to, when to wall, when to not wall as Groot. So I would recommend trying out Doctor Strange or Magneto if you're going to run a main tank. Now, like I said, guys, you need someone with a shield to move up on the map, or else you can't take space. The main job of tanks is to take more space than the enemy tanks. Now, what that means is the more space on the map you need to control. So you need to push the enemy team back, and how you do that is you wall. Now, that is a term that I guess not many of you have learned, as I've seen from every single rank, diamond and below, is these tanks do not know how to wall. If you tune into any sort of high elo, high rank streamer that is playing a tank, you'll hear them every so often, walk with me, walk with me. All right, walk now, walk now. What that means is you're going to throw up your shield and you're going to walk with your team. You're going to have the shield to protect all the incoming damage. Now, obviously that shield is going to go out at a certain point in time, but you're going to take that space and you're going to walk with the shield and you're going to stay in that space. You're not going to back up. Obviously, if you're getting, if you're getting wrecked and you're one shot, yes, of course, back up, but you're going to want to stay and keep that space that you created as long as possible, and then rinse and repeat. Go forward, walk again, walk again. Your main job, like I said, is to take more space than them. The more space, the more room your teammates can move. The more your DPS can flank and hit the backline, kill the healers. The more room your healers can evade the enemy dives as well. The more space on the map to freely move for your whole entire team, the better. And that's what you need to be doing as a main tank in Marvel Rivals. Now, the way you do that, like I said, you pull up your shield or your wall and walk. I mean, I've seen so many tanks too scared to walk up with their team. If you have the most health in the game on top of your healers prioritizing you, as they should, you should not be scared as a Doctor Strange or Magneto or Groot to walk with your team. You shouldn't be scared. Throw up that fucking shield and walk, man. I've seen so many tanks. I mean, I'm even, you know, a culprit of this as well. You think you're gonna get just one-shotted, but you're not. You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of health, and on top of that, you're gonna be prioritized and pocket healed by at least one of your healers if they're doing their jobs correctly, and you need to create that space. If you don't, you're just gonna be on your back heels the entire map, and you're gonna let their dive tanks and their dive DPS and all of their heroes push you guys back, and then you'll be in your spawn, you'll get spawn trapped, and by that time it'll be game over. Now, speaking of healers, you also need to protect your healers. As a Doctor Strange or Magneto, try your best to obviously take space, but you don't want to leave your team behind. You don't want to leave your healers all the way in the back line, super far away, because that'll give the other dive tanks and dive DPS more room to go ahead and dive the healers in the back line, and you won't be able to turn around in time to go ahead and help out with your healers. Now, other DPS and dive tanks, they need to help out with that, and I'll get into that in a second. But if you're a tank, any tank, whether you're a dive or a main tank, if you see a Black Panther, a Magic, Spider-Man, anything, just walk back just a little bit to maybe turn around, hit a 180. Yes, the other team is going to be damaging you, but guess what? You have I've seen like fucking with all these heals and shields and stuff like that, you can get like 800 health, bro, and be instantly healed and have 800 health all over again. And a lot of these tanks, they have bubbles and they have their own, like Groot has a healing wall and stuff like that. Just hit a little 180, you'll be fine getting shot in the back for a little bit, as long as you kill that dive DPS. Now you're in a 5v6, now you can walk again. You walk, you throw up the shield, you push forward. I absolutely hate seeing tanks and other DPS just not turn around and help their healers. If healers are getting dived, yes, they have stuns, they are able to get away, they have evades, but if there's a good dive DPS on the other team, they're gonna get wrecked every single time. And then you're gonna be like, oh, where's my heals, where's this, where's that? It's because you're not turning around. Make sure you know where your healers are at all times. If you don't think you're getting healed enough, maybe, you know, hit a little 180, turn around, see if there's a Spider-Man trying to fucking kill your Luna or something like that. Always know where your healers are at. Now, like I said before, you are mostly going to see 1 tank, 3 DPS, and 2 heals, and everything diamond and below. That's just how it is. Everyone wants to insta-lock DPS. Don't get mad at them. Just let them run whatever they want to run. Just make sure you have at least 1 main tank. But if you have a second tank and you're running the 2-2-2, or 2 tanks, 1 DPS, 3 healers, you're going to want to run another dive tank like Captain America, Venom, Hulk, or Thor. Basically, you're going to want to run these dive tanks as if you would run a dive DPS. They just have a lot more health. They are a glorified DPS, just with more health and less movement. So what you want to do with these characters is you need to disrupt their backline while also helping your healers with any of the enemy dives as well. Now, say for Captain America, for example, that guy's a mosquito. He doesn't really do that much damage, but he can disrupt the backline and he can get out really quickly. What you want to do as Captain America is you want to dive the enemy backline, you see if you can get a kill. If not, dive back, make sure your healers are okay. You're obviously going to be running back to your healers anyways, so just look around, see if there's a Black Panther or another dive tank or another dive DPS in their backline, and your backline, I mean, and try and kill them, try and disrupt them, make them run back to their team. You want to keep your healers alive as much as possible, because like I said, they are crucial to playing this game. A lot of these characters do not have self-healing, so you want to make sure that your healers are up as long as possible. Now, one of the last tips that I want to say for tanks is to plan pushes with your main tank and take space together. As a main tank or as a dive tank, both you guys need to be communicating on when to walk, when to back up, when to push, when to not push. You can have a main tank push up with a shield while you tank an off angle and hit the back line and pinch the enemy team, and that's the best sort of strat for all like 2 tanks sort of composition. Now, if you guys don't know what a pinch is, I've only seen it in like a Call of Duty term, as you guys may have not known, but come from a Call of Duty background. I play Call of Duty competitively, but the term pinching in Call of Duty is a term that we use to hit the enemy back line, or hit the enemy team from two different angles. One from the front, one from the back, one from the front, one from the side, both sides, yada yada yada. Basically what you're doing is you're hitting the enemy team from two different angles so that the enemy team will not be able to shoot all of your heroes or all of your teammates in just one sort of area. They're going to have to turn around, they're going to have to hit a 180, and just they're going to be hit from all angles. Basically what you're going to do with this pinch is you're going to slowly close the gap and just completely team wipe the enemy team. You're going to want to have a dive tank hit the back line. Once you see your dive tank hit the back line, say you're a Magneto, you're going to want to pull up that shield, you're going to want to walk with your team, close the gap, and if you're a Magneto, you're going to throw that bubble on your dive tank to make sure they stay alive, and also that they can close the gap, they can close the area with the healers in the back line and get all those kills. As always, you just need to be coordinating with your team. I cannot stress this enough. If you're walking as a Doctor Strange or another main tank, if you're walking by yourself, you're just gonna get wrecked. You're gonna get insta-killed 1v6. It's not even gonna be close. Make sure you are grouped up. Make sure you have your healers with you. Make sure you have your DPS with you, unless they're dive DPS or flying DPS. Make sure that they're with you and you walk with them. Coordinate it. You can, do the push to talk and be like, I'm walking, and push up with me. Or you can just type it in the chat, be like, whenever I'm walking, walk with me. Or ping something and then just walk up and just hope that your healers know to not be scared and just push up. The main thing about tanks that I just want to say again, just to really drive it home, is to not be scared. Take space. Do not be scared. You have so much health. You have the most health in the game. You want to walk and push up. You're gonna stay alive. I promise you. If you don't stay alive, then you just have shit healers. I don't know what to tell you. So guys, those were some tips to just improve as a tank in Marvel Rivals. Now, this isn't a flat out, how-to video on how to play tank. I just wanted to say a couple tips that I have found when I've been playing tank. I mostly play tank from gold all the way up to diamond, and these are some of the things that I found to help me out a lot, to help me rank up as quickly as I did, and hopefully these tips and tricks will help you guys out in all of your future matches. And if they do, go ahead and drop a follow and go ahead and like the video. If you have any other tips from, anything that I haven't said, go ahead and comment them down below. As always, guys, I am live Friday through Sunday from around like 4 p.m. to like midnight. The start time varies, but I tweet out every single time I go live. If you want to follow me, my Twitter or X is going to be down in the description. It's going to be I'm Doubtful, the same way that it's spelled here, DXUBTFUL. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, it's going to be twitch.tv/doubtful_, same thing, DXUBTFUL. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.